So today we are ranking the best goalkeepers in FIFA 23. At the current time of recording, it is just before the out of position promo. So we're going to start off with some of the lower tiers, and it's going to be Campos. Main reason being is he's far too small being a goalkeeper. He just doesn't reach any of the corners at all. Someone does a Trivela or a finesse outside the shot, he's not saving it. It's a shame he's in the MLS as well because the links aren't great. Of course, he's probably the best keeper in MLS, but that is something to consider is his height. If you have a look on Footbin, as you can see, he has some of the best traits for a goalkeeper, rushes out of goal and comes for crosses. But being 5'7" is not the one, I promise you. You'll find yourself conceding some of the most annoying goals from long range, and that is because of his height. Yes, he's good for links in terms of he doesn't need anybody else to link with, and his price is very cheap. But unfortunately, he's just not the one. Moving back to our list, we're going to move to the top of the S tier, and it's going to be Donnarumma and the team of the week, Donnarumma. This year, they've got the card completely spot on. Last year, he wasn't that good, and that was really, like, for example, I had his team of the year, and I hated it for every single second of I had him. But this year, they've seemed to have fixed him. He is nowhere near as bad as he was before. And because of all the players that he links to this year as well, it just makes him that top tier. So on Footbin, he's only 55,000 coins for his team of the week. And you can see he's 6'5", so he's massive. In terms of traits, he comes for crosses and rushes out of goal. Has the two best traits in the game. And he is just so much better this year, offering you so much more in terms of chemistry as well as being a solid goalkeeper from the back. And that's the reason why he's in S tier. The same with Courtois. I personally think Courtois is the best keeper in the game this year by a mile. I don't think there is a keeper even close to him because there is just something about Courtois this year. I don't know how to put my finger on it. Of course, he has a link to some of the best cards in the game at the moment, and that is why he's expensive as he is. 65,000 coins. You can see he's 6'6", so he is the tallest keeper, and he has come out for crosses. It doesn't rush out for goal, but it's not a problem. With the long throw as well, he offers another option for attack, but he just seems to stop almost everything. Of course, you're going to have games where he isn't that good, and there are going to be issues with it. But in terms of a general goalkeeper that's a gold rated, he is very, very good. That moves us back to our list. It's going to be Mendy, who's B. And I got Mendy within the first couple of weeks of FIFA. And I thought, yes, I've got myself a fantastic keeper. Last year, this guy was unbelievable. But for some reason, for me, he just seems to miss almost every single save. I concede some of the most ridiculous goals I've ever conceded on FIFA. And he's only 13,000 coins. That makes me feel that the majority of FIFA players are the same. Comes for crosses, which is great. 6'6". Everything about this card would suggest he's going to be a really good goalkeeper, but he just falls short, and I can't really explain why. Maybe it's because it was early patch when I tried him, but I had him in there for about a day, played a lot of rivals, and he went straight out, and I've never looked back. But that could be down to just how it was at the start of FIFA. You're going to have to let me know in the comment section. We're going to move on to our next goalkeeper. It's going to be another Prem one, and it's going to be De Gea, and he is A. I want to put him S, but I'm going to put him as A, and the reason being is he still has save with his feet, and it's one of the most annoying traits for a goalkeeper they can have. And even though it's not on the card anymore, he still does it. So if you go to traits here, he doesn't have it here. But I promise you, there's some bug with the card. He seems to want to save everything with his feet all the time. 6'4", really good links again. If he gets a couple special cards, maybe he'll be better. But when I used him, every time someone did a shot, like mid-level or lower, he tried to save it with his feet, and it drives me up the wall. I don't know why he has that, because he doesn't have the trait anymore. It's probably bad coding on EA's half. Again, going into the next Prem is going to be Lloris. Not too much to talk about Lloris. I wanted to put him in A, but I put him in B because he's very similar to Mendy. Don't really see him that often in the Elite Division. I mainly see the guys you see on the list already above. But there just seems to be no need for a French goalkeeper this year, and that is because of Mayang, and he's in my goal at this moment till I buy Courtois. And Mayang is absolutely ridiculous. With the links he has, especially with some of the objective cards that we've got, he is really, really solid for me. Only 20,000 coins as well. Quite small for a goalkeeper, but he has the good traits you need. Comes for crosses and long throw to help you with counter-attacks. 4-star weak foot if you need to play it out the back, but obviously you don't do that very often. But I just find this card very, very solid. If he ever gets a special card, that's going to be an absolute pain to try and play against. We are going to go to some icons now. We've got ourselves Base Casillas. He is a C. I'm going to probably cause some upset about this, but I've not enjoyed Casillas at all. I got him in a loan icon SBC or something like that, for what it was. Now, one of the packs that gives you a loan, and this card was just letting in goals left, right, and centre. In real life, he was one of the best keepers I've ever seen. Maybe it's because he's 6'1", he's quite small, and doesn't have any good traits. But I just find that this card just keeps dropping price throughout the week. Every single week, he's a little bit lower, then a little bit lower. The rumours that his mid's coming as an SBC as well, and he's just not very good. His mid is a bit better as a B, but he has the same problems. He is very, very inconsistent with saving. Doesn't really dominate the box, especially with corners being as good as they are this year. And I just seem to have a lot of problems with him. Moving on to our next one, is going to be 89 rated Oblak. And he is not as good as he was last year, which is a shame. Because Courtois is so good, Oblak is only a little bit worse, but that is why he's not in the S tier. He's also half the price of what Courtois is, so that just tells you on its own. And that could be down to his links, but in terms of just what this card is, I don't understand why, because he has a really good trait against cover crosses, but he just seems to be lacking this year. Not great at saving across goal shots for me, and I've had a lot of problems with him in general. I did have him for a while. Unfortunately, I put him into an SBC. That being said, we're going to move on to Alisson, S tier, and the same as Edison. They're both basically the same. I've played against these two cards almost every single day without failure. And they just seem to be causing me problems all the time. Not the most consistent, but then every keeper is the same in that sense. But they are the two best Premier League and Brazilian goalkeepers you can have without a doubt. Now we are going to move over to Schmeichel. I got this card from my base icon SBC. I tried him for about 10 games in Elite Division. He has cost me so many games. It's unbelievable. Maybe my luck with goalkeepers isn't great, but there is something about this card that is not great at all. He's only 87,000 coins. He is very tall, but he seems to be one of these cards that just has a problem at saving anything across goal, anything that goes into the corners, or anything that's even kicked at him. He just seems to flop all the time, and I just do not like this card whatsoever. If you've got him and he's better for you, then congratulations, because mine seems to either be broken or is terrible. But his mid is way better for some reason unknown. Maybe just because the stats are better. He seems to be way more consistent, and that's why he's a B. We're going to stay on icons now, and we're going to go to the two best keepers in the game in terms of icon as well. Both the Van der Sars. Again, another year where Van der Sar is just the main guy. That's why if you look at all pro teams, they have Van der Sar. And he's just unbelievable. Again, 6'6", very similar to Courtois. He has the 6'6" height, comes with crosses and long throw. They are basically the same card, but one is cheaper than the other. And we have got his base as well, who has the same sort of traits, apart from rushes out for goal on his base. So I would actually lean more towards his base than his mid, but it's down to personal preference. Pricing's not too bad for an icon, but it is a lot for a goalkeeper. We are going to stay in La Liga for 1 second, and we're going to go to Ter Stegen. I play against Ter Stegen almost every single day as well, especially in the Elite Division. Some games he's amazing, other games he's not so great. I don't know what to make of Ter Stegen. I'm just putting him in there from the basis of just having to play him every single day. He is quite cheap for a goalkeeper, especially of that rating, coming in at around 25,000 coins. But I don't know what it is about this card. It seems to have got him right this year. Rushes out for goal, come for crosses, so that might explain why he's very good in terms of meta. He's only 6'2", but he's probably one of the best 6'2" goalkeepers we have in this game at this moment, and that is why he is in S. Staying with Germany, we're going to go to Neuer, and Neuer is also going to be into S. I played against Neuer a few times, not as much as others because of the team in the Bundesliga isn't anywhere as good as some of the other leagues at this moment. But again, just a really solid goalkeeper. About 50,000 coins, more or less. You can see 6'4", and again, he has the two best traits plus long throw. So in terms of traits, he's got them all. He would be a much more usable keeper once the Bundesliga get a few more better players that are a bit more meta. They are getting there closer every time a week goes past and a new promo comes out. But he is very, very good. We are going to move over to a hero now, and that's going to be Dudek, and he is also S. That's D. And then we're going to move over to another hero. It's going to be Dudek, and he is a D. Dudek's very similar to Campos and Schmeichel. For me, he just seems to let everything in. Not the greatest goalkeeper at all, which is very, very frustrating. We are going to move over back to icons now. We've got ourselves the base check, who's going to be an A, and the mid check is going to be an S. So I've used base check a little bit, found him to be very, very good. A little bit inconsistent when it comes to crosses, and I think that's why. But whereas mid, I didn't notice that problem at all. I don't know if it was just a day of trying him out and seeing how we got on with him. But with his mid, Just a really solid card. 6'5". Comes for cautious on crosses, but you need to watch out. So you need to put him on come out for crosses in terms of his instructions, and a long throw. But because he's just so big, he seems to fill out that goal. And it's just one of those cards where he's just an absolute monster. Whereas his base is a little bit cheaper and he has the same traits. But I just find with his base is nowhere near as good as his mid. It might have just, like I said, been on the day of recording. But I find that they're the two best ones in terms of how to put them. One at S, one at A. We're going to move to Szczesny inform is going to be a B, and Trap inform. I've got both of them as reds. I've got Szczesny as a red and Trap as a red. Trap was in my team for a while, started off really good, and then he's sort of just got worse over time since I've taken him out now. That's the main reason he got worse. Took me a little while to find a decent goalkeeper, and that's why I'm stuck on Mayan at the moment. But that's why them two are there. Some games they're amazing, other games not as good. We are going to move to Nick Pope. I don't even know why he's here, but he's going into D. Navas is the same. Too small, he's a C. I played against a Navas a couple times. Go get Donnarumma. Don't put yourself through the stress of Navas. Navas is unfortunately his SBC for this year. And then we have Yashin, who is going to be S tier, both of them. Again, an absolute monster of a goalkeeper. And he has a hat on one of them later on in his prime. So you know he has to be an S. Really, really good card overall. Really dominant in the box. But again, as always with FIFA, there's some games where you can see stupid goals. And that applies to every single goalkeeper here. If you have any questions about anything or don't like anything that I've said, please comment down below. It's an open conversation. If you're new to the channel, consider hitting that like button, subscribe, and I'll catch you in the next one.